ready to see a smug Trump hater get shut down by Charlie Kirk. Guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. I know you're going to enjoy the video. It is always fun to see a very smug and arrogant leftist just get their you-know-what handed to them, especially when it's by somebody like Charlie Kirk who knows his facts. So we're going to get right into it, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But first, everybody, do me a huge favor here, okay? Help me out by liking our video, sharing it around, and if you're new, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel so we can keep bringing you guys this hard-hitting content. And for those of you who are returning, once again, thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciate it. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Darian, and this is the Resist the Mainstream YouTube show.
The Democrat Party is having former directors of the CIA speak at the DNC just minutes before Kamala Harris, Leon Panetta, and then Dick Cheney coming out saying Donald Trump is the most dangerous person in the history of the country. That's an exact quote, by the way.
Okay.
I think we'd agree that's a little bit...
No, actually, I do agree with that quote.
Oh, you think
Yeah.
Donald Trump's the most dangerous person in the history of the country?
Completely. I believe the way that he tried to go across and completely erase our democratic process. They did multiple investigations. So it was a very Trump-oriented Supreme Court at the time. If there's one thing Trump's good at, it's putting courts in justice. Okay. And he had a lot of those guys in power, and they still didn't even accept the case. Mike Pence, luckily, Trump almost did it. He almost overturned the election for his favor, but that's completely undemocratic and the most un-American thing I've seen in my lifetime.
Okay, in the spirit of not like engaging in hyperbole, so you think Trump is a greater threat to the country than like Timothy McVeigh, who did the Oklahoma City bombing?
No. I mean,
okay. I just want to make sure that you're not.
Let me rephrase.
I'm trying to give you a chance
to rephrase that. To rephrase that, I'm gonna say politician, person in power.
Timothy McVeigh didn't do the Oklahoma City. Someone said, okay, politicians in power. So more so than Jefferson Davis, who led the Confederacy.
Modern politicians in power. Modern
all right,
people alive.
Fair enough.
You can keep trying to divert it, but I'm talking about right now.
Okay, we're closing the window a little bit, but that's okay.
He says Charlie's trying to divert, but at the end of the day, he's the one who made those ridiculous and hyperbolic statements. You notice what the kid just said about democracy. He said Trump tried to completely erase democracy. Really? Did Trump say no more voting? I'm the king now? Because that's what that statement implies. And people can say you're nitpicking or it's semantics or whatever, but at the end of the day, language matters and we should stress that, okay? And also, by the way, just a side note, when somebody says, well, that's just semantics, you're arguing semantics. Semantics means the meaning of words. Yes, we're arguing about the meaning of words in a lot of cases. So to dismiss an argument as, well, that's just semantics, well, we need to define language. Otherwise, what are we even talking about?
I'm glad that we are. So more so than George W. Bush, who launched 2 illegal wars and killed thousands of Americans and millions of Iraqis.
Well,
I just want to be clear. The
personal
standard,
effect, the Constitution, in my eyes, almost got completely overturned. By Trump.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're dealing in the same
democratic process.
Okay.
Yeah, we are dealing in the same planet. Yeah, I was there. I saw all that happen.
You were there on January 6th? Wow,
I was watching it on TV.
Okay, no, but I just want to be clear.
Good diversion.
I just want to be clear.
Says it's a diversion. Again, you just said you were there, dude. No, you weren't. You were watching CNN. There's a big difference. Call it a diversion or whatever. Language matters.
So, you did ask about Dick Cheney, which I think is interesting, we
can go back to Dick Cheney.
But no, with Donald Trump, it's fine. So how did he overturn or try to overturn the U.S. Constitution?
He did not win the election, and he claimed that he did, and he did everything in his power to stay in power.
Are you allowed to challenge results of an election?
Absolutely.
That's what he did.
Completely recounts of an election. That is a lawful challenge. They did that. He still, to this day, up until actually a few weeks ago, claimed that he should be president.
Right.
He also went up to the Capitol building. Hold up. Whoa.
First of all, he didn't go to
Pence.
He did not go to the Capitol building.
No, he didn't. You're right. But if Mike Pence, you're right. I'm saying his supporters. You're right. Mike Pence,
which he told to go peacefully and patriotically go to the Capitol building.
They did not.
Well, some did, actually.
Most did not. I did not see that.
Not most did. You know, there's only about 40 or 50 violent people out of 3,000 people on the day of January 6th. By the way,
that's not what I saw.
Who died on January 6th?
Trump supporter.
Yeah, only person who died was Ashley Babbitt, killed by Nancy Pelosi's bodyguard. A Trump supporter was murdered. Trump supporters didn't kill anyone. They were not. We'll have you in a second.
But they were making threats, and they're charging the Capitol building.
No, I'm not defending the violence.
Okay, yeah.
But I want to be clear. what you think is the greatest threat to democracy of your lifetime
Completely.
is like 40 or 50 guys live action role playing as militia members, one that dressed like Chewbacca going on the Senate floor, thinking they're going to take over the U.S. government.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, you have a George
okay, try
W.
to
Bush.
downplay that.
Clear, though. No, I am
somebody died.
downplaying it.
You just mentioned somebody
One
died in
second.
that. It clearly got big enough to where somebody was killed.
What? Okay, yes.
And
a
also, I saw
bodyguard-
the videos. They're breaking windows. They're
Yes, a
destroying the
bodyguard
SWAT.
murdered a woman unnecessarily. And yes, I'm not.
She
I'm
said,
not
"Do not
going to
do not
defend-
cross
one
this
second,
door,"
let me
and she got
finish.
shot.
Wow, you think that's okay?
I hate to see that. I hate to see that.
Okay, I appreciate the honesty.
I completely. I never
Because she was
liked
an
to see-
unarmed American veteran who was protesting something you disagree with, got a little ahead of herself, and she got the death penalty.
But they did make a strict order, and that was also our Capitol building.
no, well,
I also.
fair-
You know, this kid is so upset about January 6th and how evil it was and a threat to democracy and everything else. What does he think of Black Lives Matter? I wish Charlie Kirk would ask him about that. What does he think about them and the most expensive riots in American history that they caused? Another great question for this guy, who I'm sure undoubtedly is a Kamala Harris supporter. What would this kid think if a certain United States politician promoted a bail fund to help get terrorist rioters out of prison? Surely he wouldn't support them, right? Because they're a threat to our democracy and norms and values after all. Oh wait, that was Kamala Harris.
Fair enough, but
the police officers there too
it's
were
also her
constantly
Capitol
getting pushed
building
back.
too, just to be
Absolutely,
clear. Yeah,
absolutely.
So you
No.
shouldn't get the death penalty for
I like that you're being
protesting
clear.
an
I like
election.
that you're being clear. Absolutely.
But I just want to make sure, just so we're morally consistent, George W. Bush, who put thousands of American lives and died because of the Iraq-Afghanistan war, or Donald Trump, who 40 of his supporters went and broke some windows, and a
Based
couple,
off
a
the threat to
couple.
democracy, Donald Trump, way worse. Way worse.
What is democracy?
Our democratic process to elect a president? That is
Right.
what I consider.
So, involving of which is to challenge election results.
Challenge election results and then ultimately conceding an election when the investigations and the recounts have been done.
Well, they were actually ongoing. There were many cases that were continuing through the month of December. But to be clear, because you have to be consistent, Hillary Clinton still has not conceded she lost to Donald Trump. Is she also a threat to democracy?
No. Hillary Clinton showed up to Donald Trump's inauguration
Hold on
and
a
did
second.
concede. That is
she
not.
has never conceded. She said it was because of the Russians and he was an illegitimate president.
Now, no, the Russians did not influence the votes directly, but they were pumping in lots of false information to try to influence the election.
Man, you are so
That's true.
programmed by the Democrats. It's amazing. It's like, please try to have an independent thought somewhere. No, but I just want to be, just to be morally clear, that,
All right.
that Donald Trump, on what he did on January 6th and what some of his supporters did breaking
I thought you're supposed to be objective. You're not supposed to get like personal and try to like attack people up here.
I'm not.
being
I'm
very
asking you to have a free, independent thought.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, no, you're
right.
not. But just your standard is Donald Trump, the worst person ever. That's fine. Do you think he was a good president?
I think he was a terrible leader. Absolutely atrocious leader. Was the economy decent under Trump? It was good under Obama. I don't disagree with everything he did, but I think overall, as a servant leader, not showing up to the inauguration, constantly flip-flopping on ideas, his rhetoric, and you can say, oh, just mean tweets. As a leader, you're responsible for that. That stuff trickles down to the American people and ultimately can have really adverse effects.
So let's just do a hypothetical. You have someone who you consider to be a bad leader, but the country was in a better place, or someone who pretends to be a good leader and the country's going to hell. Which decision would you make?
I'd pick a good leader.
And the country going
Not
to hell?
pretends. A good leader.
Do you think that would be Kamala Harris?
Under a good leader, the country's not going to hell.
Well, but okay, so let's say, do you think Kamala Harris is that good leader?
I think Kamala Harris is better than Donald Trump, so
And there you have it. He exposes himself for what it is. He will pick crazy Kamala, who bails out BLM rioters, before Donald Trump, who called for people to protest peacefully on January 6th. Yet Trump is the threat to democracy. That's just wild. With that being said, guys, we really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you liked about the video, what kind of content you want to see in the future. We'll see you guys again soon. Thank you, and God bless.